It said, what are my alternatives to bankruptcy? And the other question was, what options should I exhaust before filing bankruptcy? That's a great question. And let me give you a little background on our firm. When we first started out, we were personal injury and bankruptcy attorneys. That's when we started out, in those two areas of law. Now, both of those areas are kind of generic terms for what really happens. So in a personal injury firm, you know how it works. We handle car accidents, slip and falls, any type of injury-related claim or insurance claim. Now switch over to the bankruptcy side. Bankruptcy deals with, it's not just bankruptcy, it deals with Fair Credit Reporting Act, fair debt collection practices. Maybe you have a short sale, but it has a bankruptcy component to it. So as our firm has grown, we've kind of branched into those areas, and we are really focusing a specific division of the firm on it right now. I mean, we have an attorney who handles foreclosure cases. We have an attorney who handles fair debt collection. We have an attorney who handles short sales. And the reason why we did it is because of this. Bankruptcy is not the answer for everybody. And I hope you don't think by me doing the show and because I'm a board certified bankruptcy attorney, that's what I do. It's not. What I do is try to help people get to the area they need to get to. I have a lot of people who come see me who never need a bankruptcy. Don't even think about it. You need to be in a short sale. I had one woman come to me with a foreclosure, and all she wanted to do was give the house back. Well, we were able to resolve her foreclosure probably in 30 days for her. She had time to move out of the house, but she just wanted to give it back, and she wanted just to get a waiver of the deficiency. And we were able to resolve that for her within 30 days. I was extremely excited to help her that fast because she had been to attorneys who told her she needed to file bankruptcy. She's like, this is my only debt. Why do I have to file bankruptcy on it? That's the purpose of doing what we do and how we do it. This question is great because you're looking for somebody who's looking for alternatives to bankruptcy. I think that's fantastic. Bankruptcy should be your last option. Let's say you come in and you need a short sale. Well, then you don't want to talk about that. But I have a lot of people come in who say, hey, Carmen, I want to short sell this property. I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. Just by short selling, you're not solving the problem. Why don't you surrender it in the bankruptcy and walk away and just say, hey, I'm wiping out this debt and get rid of all your other debt as well? So really, when you're saying alternatives, if you're having real estate problems, you may have a short sale. You may want to do a deed in lieu of foreclosure. You may not be able to do a deed in lieu of foreclosure because you have a second mortgage. You may have to go through the foreclosure process. Either way, that's okay. Or you may want to do bankruptcy, or you may just want to sit and do nothing because there's title problems with the property, and let the mortgage company figure out who's in first place. You'd be surprised how many cases we have in the office where one mortgage company says I'm in first place and the other one says I'm in first place. Well, you know what, boys? Go figure it out. Fight it out. Do whatever you got to do until somebody decides, who wins, because that's not our dog. That we have no dog in that fight. Somebody's in first place. We don't know who. You guys did the paperwork. You figure it out. We'll wait. So, that's the options. If you're just having credit problems, though, let's say you just have $80,000 in credit card debt, and you have a good income, and you're saying, hey, I can resolve this. Well, will a debt consolidation work, or a debt consolidation company? Would you be better off, filing a bankruptcy depending on this, that, and the other thing, or would you be better off trying to settle those debts? Those are things we can talk about at the free consultation. So there are other options to bankruptcy, and that's why I'm glad this question came up, because there really may be a solution that you can craft to your individual situation. I mean, the thing that's great about my job is I never know what's going to walk through the door on a daily basis. And very, very rarely am I disappointed in the day I've had, because I hear about some such unique situations, and my job as an advisor is to kind of help people figure out a strategy to deal with these situations. Sometimes there is a solution, a simple one. Sometimes it's a little bit more detailed. Sometimes we're going to have to plan this out a little bit. I mean, one of the questions we have this week is, what is pre-bankruptcy planning? And, they saw something on the internet about it, and it's just from somebody in Fort Myers, an anonymous person, wanted to remain anonymous. Pre-bankruptcy planning, there's nothing wrong with it. What you're doing is you're setting yourself up or taking care of business before you file bankruptcy. And it's nothing illegal. What you're doing is just getting organized. That's all it comes down to, just getting organized. And part of that is working with your attorney to craft a strategy to get you through the bankruptcy as quickly as possible, as painlessly as possible. So I have no problem with pre-bankruptcy planning. Perfect. And one of the ones that I like is your bank accounts. Bank accounts usually create problems for people. Some people come in, they have one account, husband and wife, they share one account, they've always had one account. Well, I have no problem with that. Some people come in, they've got 14 bank accounts, one for their Social Security, one for this, one for this, one for that. And I sit there and say, what are we doing here? What's the goal of having all these? Well, perfect example, beginning of the week, I spoke to somebody and they had one account just for their Social Security. They had one account just for their wages. So, they're a retired person, but they did do some part-time work, but those wages were gone into a separate account. Then the wife had an account for her Social Security. And I said, why do you keep everything separate? And they said, that's the way we've always done it, just to keep it organized so we know which money's where. Then when I talked to them about it, I said, well, the money in the Social Security account is totally protected. So they didn't do bankruptcy planning, but they did their own planning, but it turned out fantastic because when they filed bankruptcy, there's no question that that money in the Social Security account is totally exempt, totally protected, which means that any money in there, they could have $100,000 they've accumulated in the Social Security account, and as long as it's all from Social Security, no creditor could ever touch it. So it's interesting the way these dynamics play out, and there's nothing wrong with putting your money into a segregated account. Nothing wrong at all. This way it doesn't even call into question, is this Social Security money? Well, look back a year in bank statements, what's gone into the account? Social Security. Anything else? Nope. So it's pretty safe to say that all that money in the account is protected, unless there was something else that happened. So when you're talking about options, when you're talking about pre-bankruptcy planning, there's a lot of things you need to talk to your attorney about.